And welcome everybody to another episode of the Mac Yak. I think we're on number 145 now. Yep, there it is.
145.
Yes, we're getting close to 150 there, man. We might have to do a giveaway or something there soon.
We have nothing to
an
do.
interesting thing. December 12 marks 2 years since I joined the show.
Ooh. And I think, when did we start the show? Because we've been over 2 years now, I think.
Oh, it's our second anniversary.
Something like that.
Third
We're really
anniversary.
bad at keeping track. That's why Ron's
Yeah,
here.
we don't keep track
It
of
was
that
November 22nd, 2018 when we started, I think.
stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's been 2 years now.
3 years.
Or 3 years. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow. That
Woo!
long.
Gosh.
I'm looking it up because I can't believe that.
Yeah. Gonna have to do
Well,
a
you
bit
got to
of,
remember, you got 52 weeks in a year. We're at 145, so that's almost 3 years worth of episodes,
Wow, yeah. November 22nd, 2018.
Jay. Yeah. So guess what?
Crazy.
This is actually, we could actually count this as our anniversary show now a little bit too.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
feel,
that means
I
it
feel
has,
bad
has to be a
because I
good
didn't
show.
bring a gift. The traditional gift for the third anniversary is leather.
Your
So-
presence is our present, Ron.
So I
There we
guess
go.
we'll all get something interesting off the Adam and Eve catalog and just call it a day.
Don't forget,
Do
I'm a
it.
size triple XL.
Yeah, I'm a size double X, so.
I'm a men's junior petite, so just
I should have went with that.
So how's everybody been doing this week? You guys been doing anything unusual or streaming? I know-
Unusual. You know us.
well, yeah, you guys are always unusual, so.
Ooh.
What we do?
I've been building a classic.
Yeah, that's good.
Neat.
I gave Jay an iPad.
Yes,
No, he
that's
he
right.
won it.
Rigged competitions going on.
It was. I think I told you guys last night that, whenever there's any kind of giveaway, I automatically assume it's rigged because David. So I had this whole rant ready to go. To when the winner was drawn, I was just going to copy and paste it in there. This whole rant about how it was rigged, and then my name pops up. You're like,
Was it rigged, Jay?
some
Of
money
course
might
it
have
was.
been PayPal over
Yeah,
right
it was
before,
it was still rigged, but it was rigged in his favor.
Ah.
And the same
Yeah.
thing with the power book. It was rigged in Sean's favor.
Ah.
I didn't want to have to ship this crap to people I don't know. I didn't want to have to give my information to people I don't know. So, I figured I'd just choose people that I already know to already have my information. So,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I don't have to ship the power book either. I can just drive it over to him. He's only an hour away.
There you go.
And Sean says he only participates in rigged giveaways anyway.
Yes.
I mean, what other type of giveaways are there to be participated in? You have to do what you have to do.
Exactly, yeah. All right, so has anybody done anything?
I know
good
Ron
this
has
week?
been streaming his butt off. I think it was like 2 streams last week.
yeah, it was. I went and talked to my urologist, and he said, "You just got to get out there. You got to put the effort in." And I was like,
Oh,
Doc, I'll do what I can." So, no, I kind of had. Normally on my channel, I just kind of like post videos, and it's like hours of editing and like getting stuff together and like reshooting things when you realize you left your microphone off. The normal YouTuber kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
so, and then I was like, I think I was talking to Steve, and he was like, where fear is where like the fun is. So you've got to like start doing just live streams, like seat of your pants kind of stuff, because that's where all the view hours are.
Pants optional during
Yeah.
the streams. Very important.
I just wear a really long hoodie, and it's good enough. But no, I did like a couple streams at the end of October, just like classic Macintosh kind of horror titles. And then, I've been doing like a Wednesday, Saturday, like impromptu, but very clearly planned out way ahead of time, Mac game stream.
Nice.
Planned out ahead of time.
He tricked me into becoming a patron last night. He kept saying nice things about me, and like, damn
Yeah.
it, now I have to. Good strategy.
I think I'm only a Patreon of one person now, and I think that's Steve's now. So
I feel so loved.
Yeah, thanks, GT.
Yeah, well, you stopped putting content out. I may have to stop Steve because he hasn't put anything new out or lately.
What do you mean? He streams all the time.
Well, he streamed.
It's not even just streams. He did one about the revisiting the iPhone the other day.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I remember getting the
What about your
notification.
content, Greg? Come on, you want to
Well, I
do
don't have a Patreon
Let's do
either,
that.
so.
Come on.
But I don't have
Let's
any
Personal
Patreons.
As you can tell, we all get along.
Yes,
Oh
we do.
yes.
Jay, how are your viewer hours going? I know you've been trying to get them up.
I think I'm about 4,000 hours shy, but let me take a quick peek.
Let's do some fractions here and see.
Oh yeah, I just lost 6 more hours.
Oh,
Well,
great.
yeah.
Well, that's a real
magic
thing
figure. So,
because when you have a lot of content there and the few hours are ranking up, it's a year. So you've like when I finally got monetized, I had a very popular video that was like 13 months before I got monetized, and so I was like, oh, I'm so close. And I'm like, oh well, I gotta keep doing it then.
Yeah.
You'll get there, don't worry.
I have always had that beginner's guide to soldering video hovering around there, and that's the one that has just always maintained a certain level of viewer hours. So when I actually clocked the 1,000 subscribers, I already had the viewer hours covered, so I was around the other way, and the viewer hours I had covered long before I had the 1,000 subscribers. So that was it's interesting watching you guys, Jay going through the reverse dilemma.
Yeah, mine was I'd already had the ability to do it in 2012 with my Xbox hard drive upgrade video, and I didn't do anything until 2016 when I came back, and I was able to just automatically enable it then.
But weren't you under the old system of monetization, though, Grudy?
I was in the beginning. I literally got the required 1,000 about a week before they changed it to the new one.
Yeah, because you can't get grandfathered in. I had an old YouTube account, and I had like 1 or 2 videos that was on like the Mac Rumors front page. So I had like $10 of YouTube fun bucks floating around in the Google sphere that I couldn't spend or access because it was well below the threshold to withdraw it. But when I finally got monetized and I used the same login and everything, it was like, oh yeah, you have some pennies rattling around this jar. We've been keeping warm for you.
Oh yeah, they've been collecting interest on it for all that time too. Huh?
I wish.
No, they collected interest. They're not going to give you the interest.
I had a video on my channel that is so old it was on Google Video. And it had like 6-figure views, and when they moved everything over, everything went to 0.
Oh.
So
you should write your congressman about that.
You know what? I've called every number in the alphabet, and no one can help me. So,
but
all right, guys. So
little shout out to our Canadian Computer Collector. If people haven't subscribed to him yet, head over because he's got some funny content.
Oh yes, just his moves of taking out the tray from that iMac G3 video. If you haven't watched it, go do that.
Well, he got a few hundred subs now, and his attitude is starting to shift a little. The ego is growing. So I unsubscribed I unsubscribed to put him in his place.
And then subscribe again when he asks nicely.
Yes, there you go. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and move on to our first. It's not really a topic. It's a thing because we're not calling it topics tonight.
Have we officially welcomed Ron? I don't feel like we have. Did we?
Actually, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't. Yeah. Welcome, Ron.
How dare you?
We don't do that on Mac yet.
Well, he's been on here before, so I thought everybody.
Yes, but he
know
was
him.
on as part of a comedic duo, and he has since broken up from that band.
Right, it's true. I was actually a member of the number 2 Tenacious D cover band in the Midwest of the U.S. I say number 2 just in case there happens to be another one out there that's better. I don't know.
Set your sights low.
That's right. Keep those
I have to ask,
low.
who invited him anyway?
I think that would be Jay.
I thought we had the short, fat, white guy genre already taken care of with Steve, myself, and Greg. Oh, and Bruce.
He outvoted us because he has more hair.
Ton.
Well,
okay. I just had to ask. I mean, nobody consults me about anything, so
that's okay. First of all, though, I'm 6'4", so if you got any Macs on the top shelf, just give me a call. Mike. I'll swing by.
That would be Steve, because Steve is the only idiot that stores, the 500-pound max on the top shelf 4 deep.
The only place I got room. Come on.
So anytime you want to go, borrow something, just let me know. I'll go with you.
I was waiting for that photo op at VCF Midwest, Ron, of you just holding me on your shoulder,
We've
We've
got to get
like
Ron
officer and a
Kai
gentleman.
together.
I'll just go in and pick you up. Love lift us up, and I'll just carry you out. It'll be great.
Now we're gonna get a content match. Well. So Ron, introduce yourself. Where are you from?
Go.
Well, around, I guess. But no, I'm Ron from Ron's Computer Videos. You've probably seen maybe some of my content. I don't know. If you haven't, it's okay. We're still friends. But yeah, I've got a YouTube channel and I play around on Twitter and things like that. But it's Mac stuff. It's a lot of Apple. Well, not so much Apple II stuff at the moment, but probably have some more Apple II stuff here coming up shortly. But yeah. I don't know, just out there having fun like you guys.
I just have to ask one question. What's your qualification? Do you edit your videos on a Mac or a PC?
Well, as it sits right now, I've got an i7 PC that I use Vegas. But
okay, let's get rid of him. I'm tired of you guys inviting these PC people on here. I had Joe on. He uses a PC. Now we have Ron. What the hell's going on here? I thought this was a Mac show.
Mike has his camera off because of all the IBM crap in his background.
I know. I was going to say, yeah. Who talks about?
I look like crap anyway.
It's called Mike's Mac Shack, but he talks about PCs more than Macs.
I think it's one of those things that when Microsoft finally pulls the trigger, because my PC won't do Windows 11. It ain't gonna happen. So as soon as that happens, it's gonna be like a Mac Mini or an iMac or something like that. And I work in Ed, so the Ed bundle, and then I'll stop being a filthy PC user, I guess, at home.
Well, you are forgiven. You are forgiven because you did help us bring us Marcintosh. So.
Oh yeah, I do what I can. So I got a 2018 Mac Mini on my desk at work and a PC as well. So a little bit of everything.
You've been redeemed.
Okay, and he does have an Apple II in the background, so I guess that's got that going for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have to get mine. So.
All original REFAs. I even put a second REFA in just in case.
just a backup REFA.
So it's like it'll look like Kiss is like starting a concert behind the machine. It'll be amazing.
All right. So let's go ahead and get on to our first thing tonight. First off the bat, on Mac Rumors, user Z970. And Macintosh Garden has made a leopard/snow leopard hybrid called Sorbet Leopard. And basically, Jay put this on paper. It looks really nice. I actually installed it on my G5, and it actually works great.
Did you do any comparisons, benchmarks, and stuff?
The benchmarks were exactly the same because the benchmarks basically are looking at processor and stuff like that. So it's not really any different on the benchmarks, but it does have some of the newer security certificates. So guess what? When it has the newer WebKit version, so you can actually go to websites that you couldn't before. Now, I did some YouTube videos on there, and they actually played really well. I know. Yes, we talk about not using YouTube.
We had a whole topic about this. Like, don't use your old computers and say it sucks at Facebook, it sucks at YouTube, so it's useless. First thing he does, like I'm on StreamYard doing something, he joins the call. Look, guys, YouTube and Facebook. Like,
but it actually works very well, believe it or not, and it was not at 100% CPU cycles. Actually, playing I was playing a 720p video, and it wasn't stuttering like it normally does. Look like a slideshow. So to me, that's a huge plus.
That's a win.
Yes.
I'm very curious to try it because I love Tiger. It'll always be my go-to. But compatibility-wise, Leopard is slightly better. So if I can get the compatibility of Leopard with the stability of Snow Leopard, on my PowerPC, I'm ready to move on from Tiger, but I have to put it through its paces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I'm looking at the. Oh, go ahead.
It's the main thing for me is that it doesn't break anything. I'm still using those sorts of computers for fairly practical purposes related to some of the stuff I do, and so I don't want to be in a situation where I install Sorbet and things suddenly stop working. So I'm kind of just at the moment hanging on to a dual boot Tiger Leopard setup over here.
Well, the thing about Sorbet is it doesn't install over anything that you have already. You actually have to re-image a drive. Basically you're imaging a drive. It's got it's already built, and all you do is put it on there, and there's a login and password. It's whatever. I think it's Sorbet. I think it's called Mac user is the username, and then Sorbet is the password. So it's really nice. It's really easy to install. You just make a different partition, you reinstall the image, and that's it. And then you do it. You have a dual boot, so you can have a triple boot now if you want to do that.
So what is the
what was your
advantage?
machine's IP again? I just want to test that.
It's off right now. It's right behind me. So
I mean, I know the article goes into a bit about this on the Macromer site, but what are some of the advantages of this hybrid or dual boot situation or whatever the heck it's? But what would you get out of it by having this on your system?
A couple of things that I noticed, and I haven't really done a thorough in-depth review of it yet, but it's a lot snappier as far as the animations and stuff like that. You can actually put themes on there. In fact, I put the High Sierra theme, so my G5 looks like it's running High Sierra now, and it works really well. The WebKit works really good. It also has, I think it has a newer version. I want to say it has a newer version of iTunes on it. I mean, it's upgraded a lot of stuff on there that
I got the list here if you want me to name off a few.
Yeah, go for it.
Faster startup times,
Mm-hmm.
faster graphical performance in most applications, faster network performance in all system operations, PowerPC optimized code system-wide, reduced OS size, QuickTime 7.7 Pro, WebKit version that's probably newer than what Leopard has, full support for the Apple aluminum keyboard, Magic Mouse, momentum scrolling, High Sierra security certificates pre-installed. So a lot of stuff that you run into with the older operating system. Most of my objections with Leopard were pretty much fixed with this. So
does anyone know who Z970 is?
I do not.
I think it's Sean under a different handle. But
Well, whoever it is, I want to buy him a beer or her.
Yeah, because and you can get it. It's actually downloadable from Macintosh Garden. So if you go over there, there's a link in the article.
I'm downloading it right now.
Yeah,
now I know what I'm going to do. Now I know what I'm live streaming this weekend.
Yeah, it's about 10 gigabytes when you re-image it to your drive, but you have to have at least a 20 gigabyte partition in order to re-image it.
Can we just give this man or woman a round of applause for being one of the first to think of a stupider OS name than Apple? Sorbet. What the hell?
Well, all right. What do you prefer, Big Sur or Sorbet? What about Big Sorbet? It's not a little sorbet; it's a big sorbet.
That's still BS.
Let's go with that.
Power sorbet.
Melty BS.
Sorbet.
Ooh, never mind.
We should pick some of the smaller cats.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like,
But, I mean,
like
I'm
Tabby.
pissed off that the caracal never got a look in. There's a lot of lovely big cats out there, and the caracal is one of my favorites. If you haven't seen it, they're a very, very good looking big cat. They should have had an OS named after them. That's just smart.
Yeah. Well,
if I am inventing a new version of an operating system, I would be a lot more creative with it. I would have called it, I don't know, Puss in Boots or something. Something like
Big Sur.
I like that actually.
Well, how about we call it Bobcat?
There we go. That because Apple didn't make one of those.
That was a code name of one of them.
Yeah, who cares? It's not an actual name.
Now it's gonna drive me crazy which one it was.
So now we have macOS Bobcat. Liger.
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 It's the most.
That's actually a pretty.
majestic of
That's
all
actually kind of
operators.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Combination of leopard and it's leopard and snow leopard.
Actually, it's actually lion and tiger.
tigers. Yeah.
Oh,
well, I
my.
understand that, but the whole OS is basically a combination of snow leopard and leopard. So
Could go with fall leopard.
there you go, or summer leopard.
I think we're getting a little bit off.
Yes.
No,
So,
this is what the
who's
audience
hosting?
wants.
Yes, but one of the things though is it does make it a lot faster, and it actually gives more life to our old PowerPC systems. That's a plus right there, I think, with it. So if you get a chance to try it, I want to try UT on it just to see how good UT runs on it now. I mean, UT ran really good in Leopard on my G5 before, so who knows? It may run a little bit better.
Now, let me
If
ask
this
a
handles
rather
itself.
pertinent.
Say
Go ahead,
again.
Mike.
Let me ask a rather pertinent question. What computer are you running it on, Greg?
G5, a
No
Power
crap.
Mac G5. Yeah.
There are 16 versions of the G5. Can you be a little more specific?
Okay, it's
It's that
the-
one. It's the aluminum case.
Oh my god!
It's the-
Sounds
it's
like
the-
idiots.
There's like some holes on the front, like a cheese grater. I don't know.
It's the I think it's the 2. I want to say 2.5 gigahertz model.
running it
the
on a
dual
quad?
CPU, the dual.
Dual 2.5.
Oh,
Okay, there we
dual.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
liquid cooled.
Just because
No, it's not liquid cooled. That's the quad.
Then it's either a 2 or a 2.3.
Well,
probably
it's
a
either
2.
one of those. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I
not
have
a
to look at
2.5.
it. Yeah,
Turn
Okay,
your
that-
chair
I-
around.
I'd have to start it up. I don't feel like
It's
doing
like this. Did it go pop when he plugged it in, like in Ken's video?
it. No, it did
Then
not.
it's not a 2.5.
All right.
We love
so,
you, Ken.
anyways, this is kind of a segue into our next topic, which basically everyone knows who DOS Dude 1 is, I assume, right?
Nope, I have no clue.
All right.
I mean, not biblically,
His name is Colin Mister, and he's actually written a new Discord client that will run on PowerPC. And I've actually taken that Discord and run it on Sorbet, and it ran perfectly. The only problem with it right now is that it doesn't do voice. It doesn't do two-factor authentication. So if you have your server set for two-factor authentication, it won't work. But I did get on the Yak server, and because once I logged in, all my servers were still there. So you can do all the text stuff, but you cannot do the voice stuff. He is planning on adding that in the future. So that's probably going to be a pretty good project, and it's going to be. It works really well on a PowerPC.
I think the PowerPC challenge in January is going to become a lot more fun with sorbet and this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to ask though, am I the only person that goes to their PowerPC to get away from Discord?
Nope.
Now you can't, because now it's there.
I don't know. Am I the only person on here that doesn't use Discord?
I always forget it's
Probably.
open until I hear the notification noises.
I even forget I have a server.
Yeah, I know. I'm the guy that welcomes everybody that joins.
Yeah, we're well aware of that, Gertie.
Yeah, because Jay welcomes all his new users.
Yeah, and I'm on Grudy's server, and so boop, someone joins like, "Hi, welcome." He hasn't been here for 2 years, but he'll show up at some point.
Well,
He's there in spirit.
Retro Tech, he said he's made a video showcasing Jay's work at MacYak, but he's actually been on our show before. So if you've never seen his face before, because he never shows his face, go look up. I think it's one of our very early episodes.
It's labeled. If you go,
Yeah.
you go search for our
Yeah, his
videos.
beard is bigger than Grudy's.
Yeah, we did his face reveal on YouTube, and then shortly thereafter, he was on a Louis Rossman video, too.
Yeah.
But he was here first.
He was here first.
He was. There we go. MacYak first.
That's right.
Now, Ron, what are you revealing today?
It really put me on the spot.
Uh-oh.
Actually, hey, I guess I got that battery thing that I keep talking about. The next week I'm going to be off all week. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to work on some of those projects and get some of those things set up. But did you guys know that Apple does? Everybody knows this. I didn't know this. That Apple, like, I bought a iPhone SE 2020, and they don't send you headphones anymore.
No.
No, they don't. And I'm just thinking, no offense, but I'm a guy and I'm buying a 2-year-old phone. Don't send me something that's got a USB-C cable. Like I own a computer that has a USB-C connection. I'm buying a 2-year-old phone.
That is an odd choice.
I know. It's a
at least if you get the weird USB-C cable, give you the weird USB-C adapter or a brick. Don't go halfway there.
Why do I got to go to Five Below now and buy another adapter?
So what's funny about that is Apple charges like about, I think it's $30-something just for that little cube that plugs into the wall.
Yeah, I mean it charges things fast, but I mean if you're going to drop $1,000 on a new phone, give you the darn adapter in the box, or at least a waiver or a rebate, coupon or whatever the heck.
But Apple is green. Come on now, they're trying to be green.
Yeah, greedy.
I heard. I was in a shop recently where someone was buying a phone, and I heard someone specifically saying, when they were buying an Android phone, and they're like, "Oh, does it come with a charger?" And I heard the salesman say, "Oh, yeah, they're not like Apple; they include chargers." And I thought to myself, "Well, that's a good reputation to be carrying around." So I don't know. Let's see if that's. I mean, we're seeing a few changes at Apple.
Here, let me open up this Android charger for here. You see how the high voltage and low voltage side, how there's no gap in the board? They don't waste space on oxygen inside these things. They put it all right there together. That's how you know it's quality.
And it is actually a really interesting point that you make there, because I think it was what's his name, David Jones from EEV blog. He did a piece on the knockoff chargers. So he had a genuine Apple one there, and then he had a couple of the cheap Chinese knockoffs, and they look from the outside virtually identical. And then he opened them up, and he was essentially just had a lot of high praise with the way the Apple one was made in terms of safety. And then the Chinese one, he was just saying, this thing is a death trap. So yes, I mean, we're all when we're comparing the Apple ones, in price to the knockoffs, they're like really expensive, but they are actually made a lot better.
Unlike their cables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Apple's cables are just ridiculously stupid.
Yeah, have you ever looked at like a Generation 1 PowerBook white cube adapter? The wire is so thin, and then you look at they've gradually made it a little thicker, but I was rummaging through my cables, and I'm like, oh, this must be a headphone cable. I'm like, oh no, that's a power cable.
Yep.
Wow,
and
power cable.
The PowerBook adapters I have are still in one piece.
Well, that's probably because you took care
Pro
of it.
adapters I have are not in one piece.
I like when the
with the lightning stuff.
I like when the housing just turns to pink dust. It's just it's just gone.
Greedy, are you making a drink?
I think he is.
Mute yourself, buddy.
What? No, I'm trying to get my PowerBook adapter.
Hold on, I'm knocking a lamp over trying to get this cable.
That's what it sounded like. Yeah.
I spilled 3 of my wife's wax burners doing this.
Well, they've always been that skinny, for the MacBook Pros at least.
I like the new chargers where you have the USB-C brick, and you just have to plug the cable in there.
I like that too.
The cable, you could just replace it.
I have a MagSafe cable that I bet nobody else has here.
Ooh.
It's MagSafe to MagSafe. You
No,
have.
I actually.
Oh, neat.
No, I bet you I have one. It's a MagSafe
Put away your sex toys
to
dude.
USB-C.
I said that when nobody else has.
I know.
It's this car auto one. It goes like this too.
Ooh.
Never had the chance to use the
other
darn
end
thing.
of that. What was that plugged in? That looked like a GameCube controller.
So some airlines, there's a little airline symbol on there. Some airlines had an older one, and then some airlines take the car receptacle. So depending on which, but now most airlines just have a regular socket. So
I was going to say I've never seen an airline that I've ever flown on have any kind of power adapter.
Oh no, I have. Thanks, Dan. I had an experience when I had my PowerBook. All the airlines, whenever I flew, they had adapters like that, either the weird one or the one that's shaped like the car, and it would be like, "Do not put a car adapter in here. It must be this regulation or whatever." So yeah, this came in a bundle of wires, and I have absolutely no use for it, but it looks pretty.
I fly Southwest. They barely have stroop waffles. So I like charging something at your seat. No.
No, you have to put like a little wind farm thing out the window to generate your own electricity.
There you go. That's a lot of
It'd be,
electricity if you could put one of those out there.
There you go.
That'd be worse than Delta. They ask you to run along the airplane to get it to lift off. It's really
Like the Flintstones.
bad. Yeah.
Frontier Airlines used to pass out a credit card app mid-flight, and really act put out that if you wouldn't fill it out. And I was just like, I'm just not interested, thank you though. And they're like, it's a long way to our destination. And I was like, what? Hold on, what is that supposed to mean? Do I got to walk the rest of the way?
I was going to say, what are they going to?
Well, we don't have a movie or something. I'm like, who fills out a credit card app for entertainment? Anyway,
You must be really strapped for entertainment. Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
What are you writing into yourself, Grudy? This is
Stop self-mutilating, man. This is
I'm scratching my hand.
That's
you have
you
5
do that
digits
off
right
camera?
here that could do the same thing.
Yeah.
if Grudy doesn't bleed, it's not. That's not a Grudy.
Well, thankfully, this is not a Arcade Mods production.
That's true. All right, guys. So our last little bit of news/topic tonight is, guess what? Hell froze over. Apple is actually going to let users buy parts. However, okay, there is a little caveat to this. However, it's only for the iPhone 12, 13, and the new M1 MacBook Pros.
For now.
For now, yes. So I knew this was going to create a stir topic because I know Jay and I were starting to talk about it before the show, and we said, no, we got to wait till the show to actually discuss about it, because I think one of these things is that Apple is just doing this to sit there and push these parts out to users. Users going to probably screw up their phone or something, and they're going to sit there and say, see, users can't fix their own products,
I don't think it's that.
I think it is.
I
would
think
disagree with that.
I think what they're doing is, there's been all this right to repair movement and this legislation that's trying to be pushed in, and Apple is saying, hey, look, we don't need the government telling us that we have to do this. Here's a program that we're putting out ourselves. But it's kind of like a Band-Aid, because it's all smoke and mirrors. They're trying to say, no, look, we're going to let people repair this stuff, but they don't want what the right to repair movement wants. They don't want to go that far. So this is sort of their stopgap solution of saying, no, look, we're green. Here's the parts. We'll cut you a deal and everything. And while I'm all welcoming of this type of inch forward, by Apple in this regard, because let's face it, they've never been like that since the Apple II days. It would be great, to have this program expand. We don't know the details of it fully yet, and what it entails and the cost of these things, because who knows, the cost of one part could be like 90% of what the phone is. But
I think Jay and I were talking about that too.
Yeah, but it's a step in the right direction. Although, I'm not letting them off the hook yet, because I still believe that until you have access to do-it-yourself parts, manuals, and stuff like that, without Apple being the only person who could provide you those, because they'll just pull the rug out from under you 2 years down the line. Oh no, it's vintage. We don't have the parts anymore.
Well, I mean, I think Jay and I talked about this too, is that, we're talking about the parts cost. They're talking about where you can return the parts to get a rebate on the parts. That's part of this little deal that they're doing. And I think it's because, one, they don't want you to have inventory of parts. Okay. Two, I think it's going to cost probably, for let's say an iPhone 13. iPhone 13 costs what, around $1,200 roughly for the base model, I think. So if you buy a screen for that, they're going to charge you probably $600 for a screen. And then you're going to have to return the broke screen back to them to get like maybe $200 or $300 back. That's the only way.
And then they'll fix it and sell it again for $600.
Exactly.
I could just see him in there, just like pouring new pixels on. It's like when some guy like hits your car in the parking lot at Schnucks, they're just that'll buff out. You can just buff that out, you'll be fine.
Well,
Johnny Ive is there just sprinkling pixels.
Well, John Reville just said right to repair avoids your right to warranty. I don't think we're talking about warranty stuff. If it's under warranty, just bring it back to Apple and let them fix it. But if it's out, what we're talking about, and a lot of the right to repair people are talking about is stuff that's out of Apple's warranty. So right now, a lot of the iPhone 12s are still in warranty, as well as the 13s and the new M1s. So, you're not going to see a whole lot of people buying parts, for those particular products right now.
Hey, Dana.
So actually, something that's kind of interesting, and I don't know. I work in higher ed, so I mean, we have a LTSA account with Apple, so we can, which is for folks that don't know, that's the limited term service account, where you can basically call and request parts and get things a little bit quicker. You can buy some things that normal consumers can't buy, and do your own repairs on a lot of that stuff. So it seems like they're loosening up the reins on some of this LTSA stuff, and maybe just like saying, okay, here's a couple of product lines where we trust. We've got SKUs that are kind of at like a baseline level that we could trust normal people. I mean, based on all the iFixit videos that I've seen, that people can do those type of things. I made a joke on Twitter that I kind of think that this decision was the ghost of 3 iFixit videos visited Tim Cook while he was sleeping, and he had like this big revelation. But it would be great to see more people being able to take advantage of some of the stuff that you can do under LTSA, just because a lot of this stuff is really simple. So why not, keep people informed and give them kind of buy-in on doing that stuff and let them just take care of it.
Well, I think also it needs to go a little further too, and allow these repair shops that actually have the capability to actually do this stuff as far as like component level repair. Because I'm sure Apple's only doing, basically like board level, basically they're going to take the board and say, here, replace this whole board in your phone. Yeah.
But they've never been component level.
Yeah. At this stage, they're not even talking about boards being available under this program. They're talking about things like screens, cameras, that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah. Which let's face it, that's 90% of what you're going to break. You're going to break the screen of it. You're going to spill, something. Yeah, maybe that's the board. But, like the M1 Max with some of the ports being on their own little daughter cable, that's great. If you jam, a peanut butter sandwich into one of those ports or something, now you could get a replacement one.
A whole peanut butter sandwich.
There's a lot of air in there. Just keep pushing it in.
He's got to push. But okay, so you've got screens being replaced. Well, what's the second most common iPhone repair or upgrade?
The battery.
Nothing that Apple is going to grace us with.
Well, isn't that part of it too? Is batteries?
Yeah,
I thought that I had read that they were going to do batteries as well. So
yeah,
I think we're to the point where I just I've seen like videos and I've had people that were like, I ordered the parts, Ron, and something went wrong. The battery now looks like a Suzy Q laying on my desk. And I was like, yeah, you can't really crinkle it because you make all the pixies mad, and then they want to fight and get out. So I think now, like with the battery design, like things are more rigid and shorter and less likely for people to just like try to like make an origami.
Yeah, they added the tabs back to the batteries.
I was going to say, are they going to make it easier to remove the battery? Because even with those tabs, because I've had some phones where you pull them and they just break, and you're like, ugh. So then you're prying up the battery like you normally do, because you can't.
Well, a bucket of salt water nearby.
I guess but that's the thing. I mean, either you go to Apple and you pay $50 or $60 for the battery to be replaced, or you pay, let's say $10 less, whatever the cost is, for them to ship it to you, and you play repair. And yeah, I mean, to that extent, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to go, well, I tried to do it myself and I made it even worse. And it's like, well, maybe you're not cut out for that. But a lot of people are going to learn the hard way.
See, this is the thing. I mean, they did actually say in that Mac Rumors article that what Apple are proposing here is not suitable for 90-something% of consumers. This is something that's going to make life a little bit easier for the professional repairers, or even your semi-professional repairers, people just working out of their living room or doing repairs for family or something like that. And for those very few consumers that are, got the necessary technical skills to go in and do something like this. But the majority of consumers will still be going to someone else to do it. But what I think they're actually doing here now is they're making that those small businesses, those guys that go and replace screens and replace batteries, now they'll be able to do it properly. They'll be able to replace the screen without losing your facial recognition, that sort of stuff. I really see this as a response to to the all of the different phone manufacturers out there. When I go and buy a phone, I'm always going to buy an iPhone, and that's because I like the interface, I like the OS, and I like the way it fits in with the sort of Apple ecosystem of my household. So for me, this isn't really something for me. But there are people out there that swing. They're going for the best deal, or they're going for the one with the best camera, or whatever the case may be. And they were an iPhone user, and now they're an Android user. And then maybe the next offering from Apple, they'll go and grab that. And for those people that aren't necessarily tied down, to come in and say, okay, well, you just keep in mind this, and keep in mind, I know some people that smash phone screens on a regular basis. I mean, we're talking about like biannual screen smashing. So, for
they
those
got weird holidays
people,
in Australia. I'm just saying,
dude. My son smashed 2 of them in 1 year.
Yeah. So this is the thing. For those sorts of people, when they're making a decision about which phone they want to buy, to be told that if they smash that screen, that phone is going to lose some functionality. I actually think this is a marketing thing as well. This isn't, this is them necessarily being, we're big friends. They're saying, you know what, we could actually sell more of these. Because this here is now a feature that you can go in and repair these things yourselves, or get them repaired just at your little corner repair shop.
Well, I mean, I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, Google and all these other companies, or that Samsung, they're not going to sell you parts. And so if Apple is saying, well, we're going to have a few select parts to be sold, I mean, yeah, look, from the right to repair standpoint, it doesn't go far enough, but if it starts, the trend of other phone companies saying, okay, yeah, we're going to sell replacement parts or whatever, and then there's going to be that one company that goes above and beyond, like, yeah, here's all the schematics and whatever and whoever. I mean, I'm not going to hold my breath on that, but.
Well, I'm wondering if Louis Rossman has actually even looked at it yet and made a video yet, because usually he's right on top of this stuff as soon as stuff like this comes out. So
I unsubscribed over a year ago, so
there was a lot of response from the right to repair people that are like, this is a good first step, but, and list a lot of concerns that we're saying now, because
I mean, a lot of wishful thinking.
Yeah, and we don't know what this is. This is a PR thing that went out by Apple. We don't know they could promise. Yeah, we're going to do Macs in the future, and that never comes to to actually happen.
Until the program is out, we can speculate, of course, which is what we're doing. But remember, a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago now, Apple introduced this program where repair shops could sign up for an account, order parts from Apple. It is the biggest disaster since the iPods suck. It's
now wait a second, Jay.
It is complete nonsense. And I think at the time that was a reaction to the right to repair pressure and all that, and that has since flared up again, and this is also just a knee-jerk reaction. And yes, Apple serializes everything. Steve cannot call Apple and say, hey, I need an iPhone 12 screen now, and you'll have it tomorrow. No, you're going to have to get the serial number of the old screen before you can get the new one. You try convincing a customer to hand over their phone, let me take it apart, get the serial number. Oh, here you go. Use it with the cracked screen for another week and a half until I get the replacement part, and then I can repair. It's not going to work.
Yeah, from what I understand, there's some iCloud syncing of serial numbers or some garbage that would hopefully alleviate that mess. But I agree with you, Jay, that is not the way they should go.
Well, and tagging on what Jay just said is that
don't tag on
they're
what
not.
I say.
Well, no, but they're not going to let repair shops have stock of screens and stuff like an Apple store will.
Yeah.
So they're going to basically go like Jay just said. Well, I don't have any repair or parts. I have to order it because I can't order it unless I, send one to them or whatnot. And
yeah, I mean, here's the way I see it, and I could be completely wrong. We won't know until it actually happens. But I think that people will be able to buy multiple of these things, but they will have to send the old one back to get that rebate. And that rebate is going to be so attractive, no one's ever going to end up holding on to those old ones.
Yeah.
So that's the way I think it'll happen. I think people will be able to potentially buy 3 or 4 to have in stock, but they're going to pay top dollar for those, and then they'll get the rebate when they send the old screen back.
That would be nice if they go about it that way. And I also think a software toggle in the operating system where if the phone or iPad or whatever still functions, you can put it in repair mode, where it detaches Touch ID, Face ID, the secure enclave, and lets the repair shop replace whatever they want. And when the customer gets it back, they disable repair mode. All the serial numbers get tied back together, and you got a functional phone.
Damn,
How
Jay,
many
you need to work for Apple?
How many? No, never again.
That's extremely practical.
How many people have gone to one of those mall kiosks to have their screen replaced and never had Touch ID again?
Never.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know the one place that you can just go in and have your screen replaced on the fly, Apple. So that's, I think, why they're tiptoeing so slowly here.
Actually, you can't just walk in.
Would you let me finish? So they don't want, a repair shop with 50, parts lying around of screens, and you just go in and say, oh, I need to do screen. Okay, yeah, it'll be done in an hour. If the store happens to have stock of it or whatever the part that they're replacing, they want you to go to the Apple store to have the experience of, hey, Apple's replacing this, whatever. Now, like we've all been saying, this is speculative of what they're doing. What they announced is really for the home person, not really the business type of repair situation. But I would expect that as this progresses, we're going to see different changes within those programs. And I'm hopeful that this will become more than just, hey, there's 3 parts you could order and you could replace them yourself. But I'm not going to hold my breath on that.
Yeah.
Mind you that Apple does not trust us. Apple doesn't trust the end user.
They don't
and
trust
the recent, well, that too, but recent documents from court proceedings that have been made public is entire strategies. We're talking hundreds of pages where they finagle each and every word on how to reply to right to repair stuff, and it all comes down to safety. And the end user is an idiot, and they don't want to do this. They're being forced to, but they don't want to. So they're going to make it impossible in every way that they can, just like the program a year ago, and then still say, we tried and people didn't use it, so obviously this is not a problem. I think they're going to screw us, basically.
Can I just ask you a question, Jay?
Maybe.
This is a hypothetical question. So do you remember when they brought in that ridiculous service program? And as you say, I think it was probably 2 years ago now, or a year and a half, something like that. When they brought that in, at that time they brought that in and we found out how ridiculous it was. What would you have said if I told you that Apple was going to bring MagSafe back and put a whole bunch of ports on their MacBook Pro?
I would have laughed at you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to say Apple's turned over a new leaf. All I'm saying is we have seen a shift in behavior, whether that's just a flash in the pan or whether it's something that's going to continue or whether it's, sort of maybe all those extra ports dissolve on the MacBook eventually. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if I would compare those two, though, because yes, I agree they can make unexpected shifts in behavior, but going back to the MagSafe and adding more ports was a natural thing to do. Just like, hey, we got a round Mac Pro that looks like an ashtray on steroids. Yay! It sucks. Quick, let's go back to a cheese grater, which they did. They make mistakes.
It took them how many years to do that?
As quick as a turtle.
But they did.
Yeah.
But they did.
Like 6 years.
But they did it.
But what if, again, I'm just hypothesizing here, what if Apple are seeing sales of their phones and iPads suffering because people are complaining that they can't get them repaired cheaply?
No.
I'm just putting it out there.
I know, I hear what you're saying, but Apple only does what benefits Apple. This repair program doesn't benefit them. Because we bitch and moan about Apple all the time. But we all keep buying the new phones. We all keep getting the new Macs because we like the ecosystem and we're trapped in it.
But
So
how this
some of us
benefits
buy
them?
the new Macs.
This benefits them by saying, well, we don't need right to repair laws and rules and all this stuff.
That's why
Look, we've done this all on ourselves. And that's, I think, the smoke and mirrors is what's happening.
It is. And I agree with you, Steve. I totally agree with you. I think it's a big PR stunt, basically, to get the lawyers off their backs.
And that's what Rossman said about this program 2 years ago, that it was just basically to try to, it's a fig leaf that's, trying to cover up this thing and just kick litigation down the road for a few years. So that way that they could maybe spin some sort of some dollars lobbying people, and then then you don't have to worry about that. But like you guys though, I did have to unsub on Rossman, mostly because I've only got like 18 hours a week to watch board level repair videos. So I just took that time and I split it between Steve and Bruce.
Well, to be honest with you, Ron, he hasn't done board level repairs on his channel in almost a year and a half.
It's mostly whining about cats and stuff.
Yeah, ours.
I bailed when he explained
I watched
on the
a few
live stream
videos where he's
how
in
he
the
wipes his
recliner,
ass. I was out.
Well, I will say
Anyway,
that if
I never should have bought this new location. What a mistake! See you guys next week.
if you need somebody to whine about cats, Mike's Mac Shack or Mike's Cat Shack is the place to go. So between all of us, you got it covered. You don't need him. Just come back there.
The thing you have to remember about Rossman, he has got a hell of a back catalogue. I mean, if you're there in a situation where you've got no backlight on a MacBook Pro or something like that, you can do a search and you can find a video that he recorded years ago with a whole series of diagnostic steps you can follow to find out why the backlight's not working. He tells you, okay, test the voltage here. If you're getting this to this, it's probably this. If you're getting this to this, it's probably that. So I used to watch Rossman very regularly, but it was a time when I was still learning an awful lot of stuff from him. And then you kind of reach a point where there's a fair bit of repetition going on. And that's at the point where I think you tend to sort of fade away a bit. Most of me, anyway.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with you there. But
I do too.
Like I said, I stopped watching when he stopped doing actual repairs and started just basically, messing with his girlfriend on there. It was like the channel just changed. And
I'm curious what everyone's opinion is on this. So back to the topic of the selling parts to customers.
Steve, you should get a pixie cut. I'm just saying your viewership will go through the roof.
Oh, Ron. Well, all right. So I know what I would like to see Apple do with a parts and repair program. What would make this program good in your eyes? What should they do? I think we're all going to have the same answer. But
they should expand it not just to those 3 products, but to the Intel Macs within that they still support. In other words, maybe the 2016 and up MacBook Pros, the iMacs, that they still support, the Mac Pro, that is still supported, but they need to actually expand it to all the stuff that is still supported by Apple, because just only having those 3 products, because right there you're looking at like there's not a whole lot of stuff that's user replaceable on those particular items. But let's say a Mac Pro, there's a lot of stuff you can change on there because you can actually take parts off the shelf and put it in a Mac Pro, because it has PCIe slots. It has,
Whoa,
regular
Greg, watch it there.
Stuff like that.
Us.
But the phones and the M1 Max are basically everything soldered to the board. So basically you're not going to be able to do any user level replacement. In other words, you can't change the SSD. You can't change the memory. You can't change the CPU because everything's soldered. So it's, they're going to, if something goes wrong with your M1, they're going to have to send you a whole new board.
Well,
I want
the
Apple's
M1
repair
repair,
program.
though, it's just a new M1 in a box. They just
Yeah.
step 1, open box, take out M1. Step 2, put old M1 back in box.
Yeah.
Apply the return label.
I need Apple's repair program to be like the old Sears website. I can pull up a list of parts, part numbers, alternate part numbers, schematics, diagrams, everything for a 50-year-old tractor. No problem. It's all there on the website in PDF, everything. Just
what about a modern John Deere tractor?
The PDF
right
comes to your
repair,
house and
finding that
murders
too.
you.
But yeah, it's the Apple forgot a long time ago why they're still around. It's not because of a loan from Microsoft. It's not because their ads were so funny. It's customer loyalty. Customer loyalty got them to even survive to the point of the iMac G3 and a few years after that. The customers were loyal because Apple's support was the best, hands down, and they maintained that title for years. Do you really think it's going to hurt your sales if you make the schematics, the board views, component lists, and everything available so that people can fix their stuff in economic hard times like we had the last 2 years, you think that's going to hurt your sales or it's going to help your sales?
Apparently, I think it's going to hurt their sales.
Outbound is just sitting there going, yeah, we're gonna make some clone laptops. Come on,
because if I can, if I lose my job, I'm down on my luck. I don't have any money, and I have a 2015 MacBook Pro. Yes, give me what I need to fix it. I'll be happy. I will still be a Mac user. I will still be in the ecosystem. And when you release that M1 Pro, whatever the hell it's called, I have a new job. I picked up my life. Hell yeah, I'm gonna buy a new laptop from you. But if you keep screwing with me, then every few months I'm gonna say, hey, what's new in the Linux world? Hey, what's new over here? What's new over there? Like, I've never been thinking as much about leaving Apple as I have in the last 5 to 7 years. And,
well, here's another thing too, and I just thought about this, was that, Apple prides itself on making quality products, that last a long time. I mean, we're all still running Mac Pros, classic Mac Pros that are over 10 years old. Okay. So these things are still going strong. I'm broadcasting, Mac. I'm on Mac Yak tonight with a Mac Pro. I'm pretty sure everybody else is close to using something like that, except for Ron. Ron's using a PC, but
It's got an Apple sticker on it. He's good.
Yeah, but we're still using all this stuff that's actually still working because Apple took the time to make a quality product. And that's one of the things I like about Apple is they do put out a quality product. Yes, it's expensive, but the cost in the long run is actually cheaper than you buying some plasticky Windows machine, PC that breaks in a couple of years,
The best thing that I've seen from a reason to not go and buy one of these PC laptops or whatever in the past few years, and I'll never forget this, and I've said it on the show a few years ago, was a family member bought a brand new laptop, and they said, can you help me set it up? I said, sure. Opened up the lid. It started going through this welcome to Windows type thing, and these text things are flying around, and it's like, all right, I'm getting dizzy. And it comes up to this screen, and all of a sudden there's an error. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And the error is something along the lines of Microsoft Office couldn't authenticate, or the product code is, and it was the most horrible user experience just from that error, which had no suggestions of what to go from here. It was just like, And so you had this like 50 number digit code, and I took a screenshot with a photo with my phone before the thing died, and then it kept repeating itself. And it's just one of those things where you buy a Mac, it's the procedure has always been it guides you through the process and whatever. And the thing is, the marriage of the hardware and software, I think, is what makes that possible, because once you have like your 80th, billionth PC manufacturer, you're installing software preloaded onto the system. Yeah, it's a fluke. It's something that probably won't happen to the majority of people, but you're going to get that one person where this is their first experience with that machine, and it's just going to put everything down the toilet.
It's the PC world. You got to set them off on the right foot, and it sounds like it was like you got the perfect experience right out of the gate. Where it's
this is the lesson. Lesson one: you got to do your research and figure out what the heck to do on your own.
It's downhill from here, folks.
Yeah, if you set the bar low, you'll never have real expectations.
Yeah,
this is true.
But I agree with Steve on that, because here's another thing too about a lot of the PC vendors. They put a lot of bloatware on the PC. And when you buy a new PC, the first thing you got to do is uninstall a whole lot of stuff, and you're not even sure if you're uninstalling everything because it leaves little bits all over the place.
And while you're busy uninstalling stuff, you forget to install an antivirus, and you're screwed 5 minutes later.
Actually, it's so bad on the PC. I'm sure you guys have heard of this product, but it's called Bulk Crap Uninstaller.
Yes.
BCU. It's the best tool. I use it all the time, and you basically go out there and it'll pull. It's like all the registry stuff. It'll go out and it'll say, hey, here's some questionable file. Here's some other stuff we found. Does this look like something we can delete? And occasionally you really got to watch it, because it'll just be like it'll be like sequel. And you're like, at this point it's Friday, just let it all go. It's fine. We'll deal with this on Monday.
We don't really need Explorer.exe. That's a bonus app.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm about to say something.
That sounds like crap. Get rid of that.
That I'm only going to say once.
Uh-oh.
And I'll do it on air. And if you ever quote
Show
me,
yourself.
I'll deny it.
Show yourself.
I will deny it. But the only good version of Windows I've ever used was Windows, I don't know the order of stuff, Windows Server 2000. It was bulletproof. It ran all the services it had to run. I used it for about a year for a web server and some PHP stuff. Indestructible.
For server, yes, I would agree.
That's the only version of Windows I've ever used, touched, and had any real experience with, and that's all I'm going to say on Windows.
Well, I mean, since we're getting on that subject, the best version ever out there was
I didn't
Windows
want to make
7.
it a subject.
No, but I'm just saying. But what, in my opinion, Windows 7 was the best one that they ever
Windows
had.
XP.
For gaming and stuff, I would kind of say.
Yeah.
But
Windows
you know,
Windows
on the
7
PC
was a good modern OS, but Windows XP is a good vintage OS. Windows XP is like the equivalent to OS 10 Tiger.
True. I agree with
Windows
you,
7 is about the equivalent to El Capitan.
I don't
There's
love
still a lot of
ATMs.
support out there. There's still a lot of support out there for those old operating systems, because just very much like this project for Snow Leopard, there are like unofficial sort of service packs for some of those old versions of Windows that do a lot of quality of life updates and try to like kind of bring things up to a certain usability level, or bake in whatever like the very last sort of updates that were available at that time. So because I mean, on the retro PC community, I mean, there's tons of people that they need that because they want to play all those old games on real metal, and the only way to do it is to have access to updates and drivers and stuff that are largely starting to kind of disappear.
I know Windows XP is still very popular because I always see the error messages on billboards and ATMs. You can point out that it's Windows XP.
Well,
I'm not familiar. Go ahead.
Windows XP, believe it or not, is actually still used by many POS companies. I know I do contract work for NCR, and most of the Radiant POS systems that gas stations use are actually still running Windows XP. It's only the newer ones that are running Windows 7.
And Mike is referring to point of sale, not piece of.
Well, they are POSs in two ways, but yeah. But actually, I mean, I still run my terminals at work. I actually still run Windows 7. Surprisingly, I mean, I'm amazed that they're running Windows 7, but they're so slow they probably can't run anything else. So these systems were pretty good. Windows 10's okay, but I quit using Windows after 7 was end of life. That's when I went to Macs. So,
well, that's the same thing. I use a Windows machine only to game on. That's the only thing I use Windows for.
I only use it to stream on.
Everything else that I do important stuff on is a Mac.
I just wanted to mention something here very quickly, because I just need to change the subject away from Windows in a hurry.
Thank you for saving me.
There is something that I was just sort of considering the other day. Having been in a situation where I've got hold of a free iPad that is iCloud locked. One feature I would love to see added to iCloud lock is a one-off opportunity to send a message to the original owner, not badgering them or anything, but just like a form letter that gets sent across to them to say, your iPad, serial number, blah, 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 has had a request to release it from the iCloud lock. If this is no longer your iPad and you no longer need it, or you no longer want it, whatever, blah, 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 please go to here and remove it from your iCloud devices. Because it could also be an opportunity to find one that's been stolen. That person could then turn around and go, hey, that's mine and it was pinched. I want it back. And you could potentially go down that path. But if it is someone who has genuinely handed that device over, doesn't want it anymore, to then be able to just have a little, you get hold of the device and you go, oh, bummer. So you have this one-off opportunity to just tap on the button, say, submit release request, and then just sit and wait and see what happens. If it doesn't get released, at least I tried, that sort of thing. I just feel like that would be something be nice.
With a little
iPads
disclaimer,
I have?
even saying, hey, if you release this iPad, it will automatically be wiped. So if there is any data of yours on there, or if there's any doubt, no worries, it'll be wiped.
Yes.
I think that's brilliant, and I think you should work for Apple.
That's what they should be. I mean, like, you look, this replacement parts thing, that's all well and good, but the way to help this whole green environment stuff is getting these devices that are locked, that cannot be unlocked by anybody else other than not even Apple in some cases. You know, GT has a stack of like 5 iPads that he gets on a daily basis. I've been in e-waste facilities where floor to ceiling iPads, and they're all iCloud locked, or there's a password on it and they can't get around it. There needs to be some sort of mechanism, like what Bruce is saying, where, you know, an offer is sent out, you know, an email gets sent out, or text messages get sent out, or, you know, you lobby Apple. There's a process you go through. Here's the serial number. Here's the attempts I've made to contact the individual. You know, if they don't respond within 24 months, release it, because this is stuff that they're going to claim is highly recyclable, blah, 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 blah. If this iPad is sitting on a shelf, it's not doing anybody any good.
Paperweight.
It's a paperweight. And that's going to be, you know, shipped wherever, ripped apart, and the parts that can't be reused is just going to end up in a landfill.
Yep.
And, you know, for a procedure like what Bruce is explaining, I think if Apple came out with something like that, the right to repair people would be like, oh, wow, that's a positive step in the right direction. It doesn't solve a lot of the problems, but it helps a lot of these things get out of the e-waste, you know, whole thing. And the same with Macs, if they could do it with that as well.
Yeah. Well, I think that like Steve was saying, the biggest problem with the activation lock is the users have a hard time trying to find it on Apple's website, because they basically hide it on there. It is very difficult to actually find it on there. They did not make it easy for people to actually take their device off of iCloud lock. In fact, I went there one time and I found a couple of devices that I had gotten rid of or sold that were still on there, but they weren't locked. Okay, they were like MacBooks and stuff like that I had sold, but they were still on my iCloud as a device, so I had to basically just take them off there, you know. But still, if you don't know how to get to that particular part of the website, which Apple, like I said, they kind of hide it way back there, they need to make that a little bit more upfront.
I mean, let's face it, your average iPad user doesn't know their Apple ID or their
exactly
password.
Yes.
And so, you know, the caveats and the hoops that they have to jump through to release an iPad from iPad lock. Now, Apple does have a website that's like, hey, are you giving away a device? Like, here's the steps you got to go through. 99% of people are never going to go to that site.
Exactly.
They're never going to read it. I think that the prompts in iOS have gotten a little better, of like erase, you know, and then it says, hey, by the way, you should do this. But, you know, a program like we're talking about, I mean, look, there's, let's say, you know, a freaking truckload of first-gen iPad Pros that are just sitting out collecting dust. A school or a kindergarten class or some, you know, school who can't afford your top-of-the-line iPad, who cares if they have to be tethered in because their batteries are shot? Who cares if the screens aren't in the best condition? They're useful for something. You know, better than that and then a landfill. I know Apple wants you to buy the latest and greatest, but you know how good of a PR move it would look for them if they were to say, you know what, we're going to, you know, implement this program to try and reduce waste. I think that's the way you get the most impact.
They do make good electronic photo frames.
If you can even get past the lock,
Yeah.
Something that you can do kind of in the education and business environment is they do have like a phone number that you can call, and as long as it's something that has kind of been bought through, that you've got like a paper trail of some sort of sales stuff on it, that you can submit that, and they have, I guess, like a learned group of people that sit around and make decisions about whether they're going to unlock things or not. And I've had to use that like quite a few times over the years, because we'll have people that will get a device or something, and then they'll activate it against their personal iTunes account, and they'll leave, and then you've got to try to reclaim those devices. So Apple is a little bit lenient depending on who you are as a customer, but I think that it would be great to be able to kind of reclaim some of those things, especially if you can put that to good use, kind of for like volunteer organizations, things like that. They should definitely be more. It should end up being something more than like, do we sell all these to the will it blend people?
They got enough of them already.
Yeah.
I mean, this is basically the situation that I've got here with one, and this is one that was donated. So there's no receipt, there's no paper trail. Someone has basically said, I don't need this anymore. I want to give it to you guys so that someone else can make use of it. And as we said, they probably don't even realize that this thing has got a lock on it. They're probably just assuming, oh, it's just like any other computer. You can just erase the hard drive and stick whatever you want on it, not realizing this hardware is actually, is iCloud locked. And so this is an instance where, I mean, if I was to go to Apple and make a claim, I've got absolutely nothing to say that this is mine. I've got no paper trail. I've got no receipt. I don't even know the name of the person who donated it.
Yeah, because all you see is the first 2 letters and asterisks.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, if it's 5 digits or shorter, I mean, you just go through the alphabet. You just keep making calls. It's it's @gmail.com. No, sorry, that's not it. I'll call you back in 10 minutes. Hold on.
Can someone tell Dana to stop talking for a minute? I mean, he's been nonstop since he joined the call.
Chatterbox.
Yeah, he has.
I'm pissed off.
Okay. Well, and that was Dana.
There we go. All right. So let's.
He has an iPad lock.
Anything else on the right to repair stuff before we move on tonight?
I'm just saying I hope it works out, but I'm not canceling my iFixit account anytime soon.
Oh, I'm not either. So
Same.
Yeah, I think this is a baby step in the right direction, but there's a lot of ladders to climb.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next part is our Eat Quack. We actually do have some Eat Quacks tonight. So we're going to go ahead and start with that. And the rule is eat if you have, quack if you haven't. Pretty much simple to the point.
Sorry. I'm just
Now
going to
I
bring
get
up
it.
the banner. There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
And
Bruce
Eat
is our
Quack.
producer tonight.
There we go. So I'm sending an email to my mum.
So the very first one actually comes from Jay from the House of Moth. So you want to read this one, Jay? You don't even have the notes up.
Hi to NK Morpheus. Yes, I do. I have it. Oh, yeah, painful. Have you ever taken components from a donor board? I know this is a very specific audience. Only to find out that it wasn't a donor board, but a customer board. Eep.
Quack.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't a customer board. It was my own, but it wasn't a donor, so I can eat that. Yeah, I took parts off a perfectly good board. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
I've done that too.
A lot of quacks in there, so
yeah, there's still hope out there.
so we know Jay has done it.
Somebody say
last
eat just to make Jay feel better.
You did it last night.
I mean,
you're gonna have to explain us what you did.
Memory mod cables, but not a component.
I needed an SMC to fix a MacBook Air, and I have like 6 boards on my desk, all the same model, of course. Because I'm really trying to focus on using up the really heavily used donor boards, so I can just finally get rid of them. And like, okay, that one still has an SMC, so I took it off, and after I took it off, I'm like, well, shit, that was not a donor board.
Oops.
Yeah.
So the lesson is Jay needs to mark his boards a little bit better, right?
I did mark it. I put some tape on it, and I wrote on it, and I burned the tape off when I was heat gunning it 5 minutes earlier. So.
Okay. And that's your story. You're sticking to it, right?
I'm sticking to it.
All right. So our next Eat Quack for tonight comes from Retro Techie. You collect not only actual Macs, but Apple-related materials. Example, VHS tapes, audio cassettes, pamphlets, T-shirts, and pins. So, Eep or Quack, have you ever collected not only actual Macs?
No.
Quack.
Yeah.
I would say Eep, because I do have other stuff I've collected. So,
Eep?
I don't knowingly do it, but I do have a few bits and pieces floating around that I just haven't had the heart.
Someone put me on the big screen. This one's cool.
Oh, hang on. Big screen coming.
This is a cool fold out here.
Oh, I thought that was your hand for a second. Like, whoa.
Yeah, I did too.
Look at that beauty. Oh, isn't that
That's
pretty?
cool.
Yeah, they get this is all full of gorgeous pictures here. So.
I have a bunch of promotional posters and stuff like that too.
Well, you should display them. You have all the room.
I get a lot of stuff kind of through the secondary thing for higher ed. And so I've got like posters.
Oh, that's cool,
to
Ron.
give out to teachers, yeah.
You know, Bruce, I have
the Wii.
I have a few of those, Jay. They're PDFs on some of those Apple CDs I archived.
No, I need the real thing.
You can print them out yourself.
The paper.
Ooh, look at this.
I mean, I don't collect.
Bruce, do you have a stack of those on your desk? Like, what is? Where'd you all pull it up from?
He's pulling up every product Apple's made right there.
Do you have the key lime one? That's the best one.
No, this one it's in orange, I'm afraid. So.
Mine's the key lime one. Oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
I
have the iBook one that
employee.
folds out, and it's like actual size.
So my collection.
Employee. So
Yeah,
came
I was going to say my collection is basically NASCAR diecast, so I have it upstairs right now.
So that would be a quack.
No, that'd be eat.
Then what the heck are you talking about it for?
It said, do you do anything besides Macs that you collect?
Well, Apple related.
Well,
right?
Yeah, you
Apple
read the question a little weird.
No. It says
Let's
VHS
see
tapes,
here.
audio cassettes, pamphlets.
No, you
but
read it.
Apple related.
Apple-
Okay, never mind.
Apple related materials. Yeah,
Oh.
that seemed fairly unambiguous to me, but never mind.
all you weirdos, I collect stamps. What's wrong with you? What?
Nobody else goes around picking up glass that's on the street. I mean, come on, you can form them together and make some cool glassware.
There you go.
I mean, if you price
I picked
sand
up,
recently, I make my own.
I picked up the occasional trinket. Like I got those launch day dog tags and a poster or something, but I wouldn't call it a collection.
Yeah.
What's
You don't
considered a
talk-
collection? How many do you need for something to be a collection?
I would say if you
Probably at
actively
least two.
seek it.
Yeah.
When your wife gets pissed off.
Yeah.
I
Okay, then Jay, you're probably fine.
yeah, I collect everything.
All right. So the next Eep Quack. Okay. Eep or Quack. If you ever buy broken Macs for parts, just in case you need them in the future.
Eep?
Oh, Eep.
Eep.
God, come on.
I'm going to say Eep, but I'm not saying I buy them. I just get them.
Acquire. Let's just say
Acquire them,
acquire.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if we get
Well, it's
anybody
different.
cracks in this group, they're liars.
It's like in my.
There's a
Mac,
quack. Retro Techie. Uh-oh.
Retro
This is
Techie
his, this is
just
his Eep
pulling
Quack.
He's just pulling our leg. That
Yeah.
old retro techie.
Yeah, it's like in my Mac collection tally video. I had a section of working Macs and a section of parts Macs.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I
On
just
tally.
pulled one apart before the show to pull a part out of it because I needed something and it just didn't fit. So I was like, okay, I can't use this part. So
Now it's really a parts Mac.
well, it
So
was
then-
a parts Mac before already. So
that last
As long
Eep
as it
crack
wasn't
actually has a
my
part
iMac.
B.
yes, it actually has a part B. So adding to this, and Candy Panda in Discord said, and then fix the parts ones anyways.
We try. Eep.
I've tried.
I've done that a couple of times.
I've tried but failed, so I'm going to say Eep.
Ron's classic
Well,
board is just an
There,
example.
Mike-
there is nothing more frustrating than finding the parts you need to fix something else, only to find that it's easier to fix the parts one
Yeah.
than the other one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that
It's
better
like,
opportunity comes along.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
headless iMac G4 was my first fully functional modern Mac, and it's built out of a bunch of piles of different parts and
That poor thing.
from different systems. It
Well,
runs
I think
fine.
Mike just finished turning a whole pile of power books into one or two functional ones.
Yeah. Right, Mike?
I think he fell
Mike
asleep.
fell
Yes, yes, Steve.
I was just counting down.
Yeah, it was 5 functional ones.
There you go.
Woo!
Out of 8, I made 5 functional ones. And I
Hey,
just
that's a
gave
pretty
them
good
away.
track record.
Nice.
Not
It
bad.
is.
I wish I was
And
always that.
truthfully, I still have enough leftover parts that I could probably build at least one more
Ooh.
if I felt
Ooh.
so inclined and actually had the energy. I could
You should
probably
do a
build
giveaway.
another one.
And Jay will win that one
I've
too,
already
right?
given 3 of them away.
Do another one.
If you give him 3,
Pretty soon, I'm not going to have one for myself.
All right. So the last Eep Quack for the evening comes from Retro Techie again. Looks like he's the only one that gives us stuff. So you guys need to go into Discord and give us some more material.
When he gets going, though, it's just
Yeah, I know.
nonstop, man.
Do you regularly trade Macs or Apple devices for other Macs or other devices, or for repairs on your machines with other collectors?
Quack.
Eep.
Yeah. I wouldn't go to New Jersey otherwise.
So Jay, why are you quacking? You don't.
Eat more hordes.
I hoard. I don't trade anything unless I absolutely have to.
To me, it's a wonderful, way of, sort of trading things around. I mean, if you end up with 2 of something and you have an opportunity to fill a gap in your own collection by giving up one of those, or in the instance of something that I'm sort of doing at the moment where I'm doing a bunch of repairs for someone and they're giving me a computer for that in return, it's a great way to do it. I'm telling you, for building up their collection. I mean, I've got such awesome things in the collection that I've got that way.
Well, I just did a trade on Discord, as a matter of fact, for a graphics card, because I traded a NVIDIA graphics card for a AMD graphics card straight up. I mean, no money, and we were both happy, Yeah,
I mean, I have something that somebody wants, and somebody has something that I want. Like Bruce.
Yes, I have a little trade here. I did a trade for this. This is a Umax Gemini.
Look at Steve; he's over there.
Daughter. This is the daughter CPU, so it allows you to run dual CPU on a Umax. So that was a trade. Hello, Horst. I'm getting a camera. Awesome.
That's the only one I have.
It doesn't have the IR on it, does it? Is that the one that has IR?
What'd you have there, Ron?
Oh, this is one of my many Apple DOS compatibility cards. Because all you got to do is do a video, and people come out of the woodwork, and they're like, "Hey, I've got one of those, but I maybe don't have all the parts." And it's like, okay, well, send it to me, and I'll do something with it. So
was that the one we attempted to solder at VCF Midwest?
Yeah, it's one of several that I have now, because people have just reached out. And they're like, "Oh, I don't have the bracket, or I don't have the cable," and it's like, just send it to me, and I'll find somebody that maybe needs a
Bruce
part.
is like, I want one.
I gave my
to be fair,
Steve.
I've done more trades over the last month than I've done in the last 5 years before that, because of Tinker Different. I just put something on there, or someone is offering, and like, yeah, let's give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I start trading completely good functional stuff for broken zip drives, and it's really working out in my favor.
I get a lot of emails, when I'm doing repairs or whatever. Somebody will assume I have like a stockpile of like 512K VRAM sims for a specific Mac. No, I don't. And so it's like I have like the one I use when I'm testing, and they're like, somebody just sent me an email, and they're like, "Oh, I just assume you have a bucket of them." I'm like, no, but you could go purchase them from Silicon Insider. He'll be happy to sell you one.
Steve, can you just go ahead and send me like all new plastic for like 2 or 3 20th anniversary Macs?
Yeah, you must have them.
Yeah, you just got it sitting around. I saw the all-in-one video.
Yeah, my dozen cubes. Somebody was also asking me for an LCD of a 17-inch iMac, and I'm like, I don't even know if mine's okay. It's like, where would I find one?
I think you have it, Steve. I think you have all of it.
I have a 15-inch,
or you've forgotten about it.
No. I have a pretty good inventory of the spare parts I have that are actual spare parts and not stolen from a working machine.
Well, Bruce, how about you trade me those little pamphlets you have for this beautiful mint condition with the sticker still on it EyeSight camera mount?
He could 3D print one.
That's just beautiful.
I know, and it also holds a vape really well. That's what
I'm just gonna go out and say no.
Guys, if you need some Kensington locks for like SEs, I'm your guy. I think, I just sell them by the pound.
Yeah,
I'll take one.
Just
let me
put
know.
one on a table with polka dots under it and put it on eBay.
That's what I gotta do.
You just weigh any of the logic boards you're sending to me, Ron. Just those are packing peanuts. Just fill it up.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right, guys. Anything else for Eat Quack? Because that's the last one I had for Eat
No, I
Quack.
think
You
we're
guys
good.
got anything?
I'm good.
So we got anything else that we want to talk about tonight before we wrap it up?
Well, I think
Ray does.
Ron didn't
I was
directly.
going to say Jay. I think.
Ron didn't
I do.
directly mention his YouTube channel, Ron's Computer.
Well, we were going to
Videos.
get to that.
I'm just saying. He, I don't
Shameless
think he directly
promotion
mentioned it.
comes.
That's
at the
right.
end.
See, we haven't got to that yet.
He's too shameless. He has to just keep throwing it out there. Careless self promotion.
So, Jay, you have something you want to discuss?
I think I do.
Oh,
Okay, you remind me what it was.
What you've been
Bruce.
scraping at.
True FX.
Oh, yes. So I was kind of forced to get back into the whole beige thing because I gotta get rid of this stack at some point so I can roll my chair back. So I started working on the 2FX board, and let me just share the screen that I should have had ready to.
Jay, don't
go
worry,
on.
Apple. Here in a couple weeks, you can just order another one.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that'll be the day.
So here we go.
ooh,
Oh,
There we go.
ouch!
It had a little bit of a RAM-related issue.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very minor.
Anyone would just buff that right out, but I just wanted to kind of see what was in there. So I started a group chat thingy here with Steve and Bruce and I don't know who else was there, and we started poking at it. And at some point, after all the ashes were cleared up, you could see straight through the board. It's like, hey, that's my desk. So this is what we ended up with after it was reasonably cleaned. And
That's a
then,
nice clean hole. That'll buff right out.
Yeah. A little bit of duct tape. So then it became a challenge. Like, hey, can we fix this? So Bruce has the old, what is it, Bromark or Beaumark? I keep mixing
Beaumark.
it up.
Bullmark.
Beaumark schematics, hand drawn by some savant in the 90s. And we kind of started piecing together what these traces here went to, and if there's copper poking out here, there must be copper poking out here. So we started digging, cleaned it up a little, found some more traces that were exploded away, started piecing it together, and I figured, hey, why not? Because I posted the question here, what could cause this? Because I'm truly curious what could cause this kind of carnage. And
I started
figured, well,
looking for the pinout to see, like, did something just drop 5 volts to like just a straight short?
5,000
Yeah.
volts.
I've never seen 5 volts do this kind of
That
damage.
almost looks like a lightning
Right.
strike or something.
I know
Yeah, it
some,
does.
I know some Macs used different voltage types of RAM back around that time period. Maybe someone put the wrong type of RAM module
Yeah.
in it.
And that is bad, you know, because if you
Yeah.
take, because specifically if you take Laser Rider LTX 2 LTX RAM and you put it in a 2FX, very bad things happen.
That
Like
may
this
well
kind of
happen.
that?
Like
Or-
potentially
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh, yeah.
I there is one on eBay right now for $100. So you should buy that printer, or not eBay. It's on Facebook Marketplace for like $100. You should buy that 2 NTX printer, and then get the RAM out of it and plug it in one of the other slots and see what happens.
I am
Yeah.
curious now. But yeah, no, not gonna do it. Whoever gets this after me can do it. So yeah, I figured since I posted the first photo, people are gonna ask what the hell happened. So I just started posting follow-up shots. So here we figured out where all the traces had to go. Then I started filling the hole with solder mask, and I think I put about 25 layers in there because you have to apply it, cure it, apply it, cure it, apply it, cure it, and it just goes on forever until I got to the height where I could. That's Kai right there. Until I got to the height where I could finally rebuild the traces. So did that, and then it was just cover it up with more solder mask and pretend it never happened. And I have new sockets in the mail that should be here tomorrow. And then hopefully, if Dana's not too angry at whatever he's angry at, he will ship me 4 more
2FX RAM sims.
Those, so I can test it when it's all done. So that was a fun little project.
It is probably worth mentioning that although you haven't had a chance to test that socket, this computer does now work.
Yes. We I started another call because I expected some kind of explosion. I figured, hey, people might want to see that. So I hopped onto StreamYard last night, plugged it all in, and Chime functions.
I will say I was extremely surprised that it worked, and I will say that repair does not look like it was fun, and I want to know how many hours you dumped into that.
It was fun because I'm weird that way, and I think I got about 2 hours in, maybe.
I would like to tell a bit of a story relating to this particular 2FX because I think it's quite a funny one. Well, I do anyway because I'm not involved. But essentially, this particular 2FX board was earmarked for Steve. And when Jay got this big collection of 2FXs, that was the plan. They had a slight disagreement on price about like as in how much Jay wanted.
700 is unreasonable.
And so we basically what ended up happening is we were sitting there on the chat, there's the three of us, and we're looking at this board and we're looking at how bad the damage is and the fact that it goes right through to the other side of the board and damages some data layers. And at the end of the day, I was very much on Steve's side with this. It's like, you can't charge much for that. That may not even be able to be repaired. It's like,
I made an offer of $100. That's where I was, because realistically speaking, no matter what machine it is, I try not to get too attached to the name or the model or whatever, because at the end of the day, there's a very large risk of it just not working. No matter if it's in the hands of someone like Jay or in the hands of someone with an iHammer Pro, you just don't know, where it's been, what is damaged, etc. So I try and set a limit because I've gone overboard, like with the PowerBook 2400, where I'm like, no, it's worth the extra money, it's okay, and then it arrives in terrible shape. So, sorry, Bruce, go on.
No, that's right. But I mean, you've obviously you've told that part of the story, which is, as I was in complete agreement with. I mean, it's like you really couldn't ask for much for it in that state, not knowing what it's been through. I mean, seriously, the whole thing could be fried inside out. You know what I mean? It's like you could have like 15 components on that board that are wrecked. But Jay being Jay, he saw the dollar signs. And he said, you know what? I am not prepared to part with this for cheap. I want to see if I can repair it so I can part with it for expensive. So that's how it all came to pass. And,
he has the same repair sickness as we all do.
Yes.
Well, it's I put 2 hours in it and a little bit of copper and some RAM slots, and now it's a $1,200 board. I don't think it's unreasonable. But in the spirit of Bruce and trades are good and blah blah blah, I will trade it for an M1 Max Pro, whatever, MacBook Pro.
What about an LCD for a 2012 MacBook Pro?
Or a Pismo screen? I might consider.
I have a Pismo screen.
So, but yeah, it's I totally agreed with Steve as well and Bruce. And Steve actually, as I kept scraping away, his price just kept dipping lower and lower.
It was going down and then it went up, but yeah,
I agree as well. In the state it was in, I couldn't ask much for it.
No, you did not agree. Otherwise, I would have purchased it and you wouldn't have scraped anymore.
I did agree, but I also know that once I fix it and sell it as fully functional, I can get more than $100 for it.
If you would have agreed, you wouldn't have kept scraping. They would have ended on that call.
I agreed that it was that I was asking too much in the current condition.
Oh no, you weren't that kind. No, you were not.
Well, I'm an asshole when we're offline, but
there you go.
Jay, like they say, fortune favors the bold.
And the bold.
That said, I have like a whole stack of Plain Talk microphones. I will just trade you straight up.
We'll connect offline.
Oh man.
All right, guys. So anything else tonight before we go ahead and wrap things up?
No, but congrats
all
to
right,
Jay. Well
so
done.
we're going to go to our shameless
Oh,
self.
we have to say happy birthday to Grudy for next week.
Yeah,
For Sunday.
Sunday.
Happy birthday, Grudy, Sunday.
And
Don't
it's
bleed on
happy
our
birthday Monday to Bruce.
Yes, well,
Yep.
we actually
Happy birthday, Bruce.
our birthdays are on different days, but we actually celebrate them at the same time because of the time
Technically,
zone difference.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so weird that either of your parents conceived you guys like right around this time, because there are just nothing but coats on the bed. How did it even happen?
And
All
I
right,
will make
guys.
a very generous birthday gift to you. I will find a barbershop in your area, make an appointment, and pay for the full shave trim.
Surprise!
Nice.
Yeah.
I wish you would have done that last week before I have to go up to Wisconsin this weekend. But thank you, Jay.
By the time they're done, the only hair you're gonna have left is gonna be in your nose. It's all going away.
I'd pay to see that.
All right, guys.
that's
So
new
what do
Grudy.
you guys got going on your respective channels? We'll start with Ron, our guest tonight.
Oh, hey everybody! It is me. It's Ron or Bruce from
Yes.
Ron's Computer Videos. I've got all kinds of things going on. I've done a couple live streams recently, but kind of in the pipeline. I've got a comparison video between the Big Mess of Wire, their old case for Floppy Emu, and the new case for Floppy Emu. So if you are on the fence about whether you should upgrade, the answer is yes. You can watch that video. I've also got like a video where I test RAM for people, and it's just one of those long format videos where you're trying to get your count up, your view hours up, because obviously my 10-hour video with the Grouch is just not pulling in the numbers. So I was like, what would be equally boring? Testing RAM? Let's do that. So, and I've also got some Apple II videos coming up very shortly. Byte Booster sent me some RGB upgrades for the 2GS that I need to finish up the video.
Oh, Jay would love that.
Yeah.
All right, Grudy, how about you? What do you got going on your channel?
Wow, there's a big giant spider right next to me.
Let me see.
Okay.
I'm sure Bruce will say it's cute.
I'm being serious. It is.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
That's
Oh,
No.
God.
I've seen
Spider.
bigger.
Well, of course, then again, I guess
He's
for
right.
West Virginia standards, it's big.
Exactly.
He's right. That warrants a burning down of half your house.
Dude, go to Saudi Arabia and see those camel spiders. Yeah,
Yeah, the ones
That's
that are like
nothing.
that big.
they're
Yeah.
bigger.
But,
The problem is it can hide in your beard and you'll never know.
It's true.
if you guys noticed this week, I didn't upload anything. And the reason why was I am getting prepared to go to Wisconsin to go see a big YouTuber that I'm not going to mention who it is right now.
The big cheese. I guessed it.
Yeah. Steve knows who it is.
Yeah, Mr. Big Cheese.
Yak knows who it is, but well,
am I blocked by them on Twitter?
you might be.
Not them.
But yeah, I am heading bright and early in the morning to Wisconsin. We're going to film some videos, and you should see it probably in the next few weeks. So
See, Grudy goes every place but
Very
coming here,
cool.
and I still have stuff here for him.
He
that
goes
needs
the
to do.
opposite direction.
I know.
well, GT, when I go and see Colin, I'll swing by your place too.
He always threatens. But,
I know, always. Speaking of which, all right, Steve, how about you? What do you got going on your channel?
well, I'm going to get a catapult, and I'm going to put an Apple II on there, and I'm going to aim it towards your house.
No, don't do that.
No. We'll have to meet up. We'll have to
Yes,
do that.
yes.
But so I've been playing around with some classic Logic boards, and they just keep coming. So I have one from Ron, as if you may have seen on a live stream, 2 live streams so far. We're trying to get it to work. There's just something wrong with the Classic 2 that's not happy. So I see more live streams in my future about that. There is a video I'm working on. Just happened to play around with my old Game Boy Pocket and a few of the games that I had for it, and I noticed some things were not quite working, and I started to repair them. So that might just come out as a video just randomly. And I'm working on a video about the Apple MPEG card system with a cameo by another famous YouTuber. So there you go. So we'll go from there.
The spider has disappeared. I don't know where it went.
It's now in your beard.
Did you fall asleep briefly? Did you eat it?
Yeah. Open your mouth. Let's see.
All right, so let's see. Let's go with Jay next here. Jay, you doing any live streams soon?
Yes, I have 6 live streams scheduled. I already made the thumbnails and everything, and 2 or 3 pre-recorded videos that I want to do. So
Okay,
I'll get to it at some point.
Let's see. Bruce, how about you?
I will probably live stream my Sunday, US Saturday. I am going to be attempting to restore a fire-damaged computer component just for fun. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
So when
with
are you going to finish that
classic?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll see. So we think there's something wrong with the RAM, so I might get a chance to have a look at that today. I've got a little bit of work to do after the show, but if I get a chance, I'm going to go down there and try swap over a few different RAM chips, and we'll see what happens. But that one, despite the fact that it looks a bit, like when you plug it in, it doesn't chime in that, I think we're actually remarkably close with that one. So.
Okay. All right, Mike, how about you?
Well, I guess I'm going to live stream trying to install Sorbet Leopard on a G5 iMac.
You know how long that's going to take? That's about 5 minutes.
Prototype. Yeah, to install it, and then you got to use it and get all your software set up and everything else.
There's really no install. It's basically an image. It's a disk image that
Look, I don't care. I'm running out of crap MacWise to stream, okay? I have had a very bad day, okay?
I'm just messing with you, Mike. Don't.
So, I've been homesick all day, and Simon passed away this morning. So,
oh no, that's terrible.
I
knew it was on the horizon.
See, GT, look what you did, GT. You killed his damn cat. The hell's
I didn't kill. No.
I think Jay did it. I think it's Jay's fault. I think Jay came up here and poisoned my damn cat.
I poisoned him
the
months ago.
19-year-old.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
No,
He was, truthfully, it wasn't unexpected. He was 19 years old. He had a very long life, even before me. So.
And look who's coming to give you cuddles.
Yeah, and somebody else came to say hi. So. But yeah, I'm running out of Mac related things to do. So this whole Sorbet Leopard thing is actually kind of the boost I need. Plus my iMac is still in the trunk of my Saturn. I have not brought it up since VCF East.
That'll be an adventure in itself.
So let's see if
I don't drive the car, so it's not like it's really done anything. The car's been sitting in the same spot since I came back from VCF East.
It might be a little lighter by the time I get to you.
Ooh.
Well, you can siphon the gas out of it for your Prius. I don't care. I mean, it's a plastic car. How much lighter do you want it to be?
Talking about taking the iMac out of the trunk.
Yeah, good luck with that. I can barely get in the trunk half the time. Not to mention that there's a camera watching it, and it does have an alarm. Believe it or not, the crappy old Saturn does have an alarm.
There you go.
Well,
we look forward.
So this will give me a reason to actually get off my lazy butt and bring the iMac upstairs and do something with it, because my desk behind me is a disaster, which is the main reason I haven't brought it up, because I keep piling crap on the desk behind me, like this Lenovo PC. It does not run Windows.
All right. Dana, are you going to do anything?
Nope.
He's still mad.
He's still mad.
A man of few words.
I've had a very bad evening.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Is your cat still alive?
No, it's
okay. Just checking.
It's fine. He's fine.
He's probably puked on the power receptacle again,
No,
right?
I have cavemen for neighbors, and they left a glass bottle on the road, and I ran over it with my brand new tires tonight.
Oh, lovely.
Jesus.
Great.
I can't prove it was them, but they're leaving shit in the road all the time, so sorry.
No, that's all right.
I'm so glad you could be here tonight to uplift us, Dave.
All right, and I guess last but not least would be me, and I don't have anything planned I'm going to be doing anytime soon, so I do need to get some stuff done, but one of these days I will actually do something. So I think I'm starting to be bad as Dana now.
You sound like Dana.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got to do something, but I just don't know when I'm going to do it. So
the
we'll see.
question is, who is streaming tonight after MacYak? Not it.
Not it.
Not it.
Not it.
All right, I'll do it, guys.
Yeah.
All right. I bought a copy of Interstate 76 earlier today on GOG. So, wish me GG.
It always works. If a bunch of people say not it, and then you have an awkward silence of 3 seconds or longer, the next person usually caves.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so Sean says I have this lovely computer behind me that I could stream. Yeah, I actually did that one time already. I still need to get that one little box so I could get on the internet and try your website out on the TI-99. So one of these days I'm going to do that.
I will say, if anybody is in the market for a very hard to find Apple 14-inch audio vision display, there's one on Facebook Marketplace in Woodbury, Connecticut for $75.
Yeah.
Just search for the keyword 1994 Macintosh.
And Macintosh librarian Kate actually brings up a very good point. Since Thanksgiving is next week, we will probably not have a Mac Yak next week.
I might be here now.
Yeah.
So
What's Thanksgiving?
Mini Yak.
It's going to be me and Jay. We're just going to talk about PCs the whole time.
Oh,
I just said I might be on.
I can definitely be there. So
yeah, because they don't do that in Australia, right?
we don't do that here.
And before we close, have we even acknowledged the super chats we got before we went
Yes,
live?
we did.
Okay, I
Yes,
wanted
we
to make
did.
sure we did.
In fact, actually, because Patrick gave it before we even started streaming, and
I know.
I actually typed to him, said thank you very much, Patrick.
Well, there's one way to solve that. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chats.
We should stop now.
All right, guys. So if we don't have anything else tonight, we do have a Discord link. So if you guys want to go and check it out, yep. Come on, Bruce.
Hang on. Oh, wrong one. This one. Whoa. No, that one. Whoa.
So we do have a Discord link. If you guys want to go check it out, we do have a lot of interesting topics over there. Go check it out. It's a very active group, so check that out. Also, we have a website. It's not that active over on the website, but we do have a lot of good information over there as well.
The website is more active than Dana's channel.
Oh,
Burn.
damn,
We're all so
burn.
nice to each other.
I know.
You
You
feel
should
the
see us
love.
offline.
All right, guys. So other than that, we need to do one more thing, Bruce, before we go.
Oh, we better do one more thing. Oh,
Yeah,
hang on. I've got to get rid of
come
this
on.
banner first, because otherwise it'll sully it. Hang on.
Yes.
There we go. And so everyone, don't forget to smash that like button.
Yes, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends about us. Tell them to come and check us out.
Tell your enemies too.
Enemies too, yeah.
Especially if you don't like us, then tell your enemies, you know.
If next week or the week after your in-laws are not here, you messed up.
Yes.
Pretty much.
So
Well,
go
if you
ahead,
like
hit
in-laws, though.
hit that bell icon. We only do this once a week. You're only going to get a notification once a week. So there you go. So if that's it, we're going to go ahead and call this a
Everybody
night.
head over to Ron's channel.
Yep, he's going to stream.
Now I feel obligated.
See, he wasn't going to do it. See, now he's like,
Now I will.
Just,
We'll do it live.
just light a candle, point the camera towards it. Endless entertainment.
There you go. All right, guys, have a good evening and happy Thanksgiving if I don't see you next week. But you guys take care. See you later. Bye.